Welcome to So Awkward. It's me, Don,
And I'm Jester.
and we're going to talk about The Walking Dead episode, season 5, episode 3, 4. What's it called?
Four walls and a roof.
4 Walls and a Roof. I took notes this week. The first thing I wrote down is Gareth talks too much. But we don't have to worry about that anymore.
Not anymore. He did talk too much.
I also wrote down, we learned that the Denise Crosby character is Gareth's mom. And I don't know if he means that literally or metaphorically. Probably literally.
I thought he meant literally.
Because he also talked about his brothers.
Right.
But now Gareth's dead, and she's dead. So it's interesting that they threw that in there.
So everyone from Terminus is dead now, right? Was that that's just the end of Terminus?
Do you know what? I've looked on some websites. Do you know what people online refer to them as? Termites. And I don't know if that's funny or obnoxious. So what did you think of the episode?
I enjoyed it, but it's lacking Daryl.
It's lacking Daryl and it's lacking Michonne. She was in
Right.
it, but she didn't do anything.
No, she did nothing.
But
She got her sword back.
She got her sword back. I also wrote that down in my notes. I wrote down Michonne's sword? Question mark?
Yeah, I was really worried at the very end when she's sitting with Gabriel that I thought that was going to be a scene where she just like left the sword and never picked it up again.
Where did she get her sword? I thought the sword was gone.
From one of the people they killed in the church.
Oh, I did not notice that. Her
Yeah,
sword?
one of them had like a bag of weapons and her sword was in it.
Very cool. I didn't catch that. I just remember watching that scene and saying, wait. So you were right about Bob being bit. I also didn't get that. I thought that he wasn't bit. I even went back and rewatched it after our discussion last week. And I texted you and I said, I don't think he was bit. I don't see it.
Right.
He was bit. But the termites are dead. So having him get bit and then them eating him, I'm surprised they didn't do something with
They
that.
did nothing with
Yeah.
that. Do you think they would have become walkers from eating tainted flesh?
I don't know. It's a really interesting idea that the writers didn't do anything with. Maybe they didn't do anything intentionally. Maybe they wanted to leave it mysterious. Or maybe there's more termites left. One of whom was the guy that Tyrese said he killed, but then he's back and Tyrese did not kill him. You know, the guy from the cabin in the first episode, No Sanctuary?
Right. Did he show up?
He showed up.
Oh.
Martin, I believe.
Was that Martin? I don't remember.
He was the guy who didn't
Okay.
kneel down, and he said whatever, and then they made him kneel down, and now he's dead.
I didn't realize that was the guy from the cabin.
Pretty sure.
Okay.
Pretty sure. But-
So then what's going on with Tyrese?
I don't know. Maybe Tyrese thought he killed him?
He is having a difficult time.
He's having a difficult time. His journey to Terminus killed him.
Right.
It killed me. Where's Rick? No, it didn't. I didn't think this was the strongest episode yet this season. I thought it was a little anticlimactic.
Okay.
I liked the scene in the church, even though Gareth talks too much. Like, if he had just come in quietly, right? I mean, why, you don't have to telegraph everything, Gareth. But it was pretty good, and then the massacre of the termites, that was pretty shocking.
What did you think of Gabriel's confession?
That was another thing that you called last week. You said that you thought that Gabriel was going to burn for this because he wasn't letting people in the church, which is what he said.
Do you think there's more to it? Or do you think that was it?
I don't know. I don't know anymore. Because with the whole eating of Bob thing after he'd been bit, it's like I don't know what the writers are putting in to explore fully, and I don't know what they're just putting in to drop. I would say his confession, there's got to be more to it, because he's still on the show. But then again, I don't know. How's that for an answer?
I'm really frustrated with them breaking up again.
At least now they're just breaking up into 2 groups, opposed to like 10 groups.
Yeah, but I'm ready for that to be over.
Yeah, and when they... I'm assuming that the show is going to switch back and forth, but I can have an episode with Group A and an episode with Group B. The Group B episodes are going to be boring. By that I mean the trip to DC.
Right.
I like Glenn and Maggie, but can they carry an episode? Like Glenn, Maggie, the scientist, flat top guy, the lesbian, and the other chick.
Right.
I don't care about any of them. That doesn't sound exciting. And it also feels false to me that Maggie would leave without knowing anything about her sister.
Right.
Have they even mentioned Beth?
I don't believe...
Other than when Daryl mentions Beth?
I don't believe Maggie has even said Beth's name.
Did they forget that they're sisters?
I think so.
Because why would she just leave?
I don't understand why she would just all of a sudden not care about her sister.
That feels false.
Yeah, it appears that Daryl is the only person left that cares about Beth.
Yeah, that even remembers that she existed.
Which, they didn't even have a relationship before everybody broke off.
Throw in one line. Like, now that Beth's gone, there's nothing for me here anyway, so I'll go to DC.
Yeah. But don't you think she would have talked to Daryl about him being with Beth on the road to Terminus?
You'd think? Like, hey, what happened to my sister?
Daryl probably said Maggie. I lost Beth.
She was like,
and she's
oh?
like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I found Glenn, so that's all that matters.
Right.
Apparently I'm mad at Maggie.
Who wouldn't be? Let me check my notes.
Okay.
Bob was bit. No payoff. I wrote down my notes. I can't read my handwriting. Oh yeah, and the scene in the church near the beginning, behind Gabriel on the wall was a bunch of Bible verses. Just like on a plaque. Probably something he was discussing in his last sermon. I don't know. But anyway, I wrote them down just to see if the writers or the set people intended for them to allude to anything. The first one is Romans 6:4. Therefore we are buried with him by baptism into death, that just as Christ was raised up from the dead by the glory of the Father, even so we also should walk in newness of life. So that may have been something raising from the dead. I don't know. Ezekiel 37, verse 7. So I prophesied as I was commanded, and as I prophesied, there was a noise, and behold a shaking, and the bones came together, bone to his bone. I have no idea what that means.
I don't either.
The next one is Matthew 27:52. And the graves were opened, and many bodies of the saints that slept arose. I don't know what that means, but that sounds like something to do with the dead rising. The next one is Revelations chapter 9, verse 6. And in those days shall men seek death, and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. I mean, that's par for the course for Revelations. And the next one was either Luke 24, chapter 24, verse 5, or chapter 2, verse 45. I couldn't tell. Chapter 2, verse 45 is, and when they found him not, they turned back again to Jerusalem, seeking him. And Luke chapter 24, verse 5 is, and as they were afraid and bowed down their faces to the ground, they said unto them, why seek you the living among the dead?
I think it has to be that one.
Right. So I don't know if those were thrown in there as allusions to anything, or foreshadowing, or just Easter eggs, or just completely random. I mean, you could pick a biblical verse at random, and it's going to have something to do with dying or
Yeah, most likely.
life after death. But anyway,
You mentioned to me when they found the church, I think you were watching it, and you said it was Saint Sarah,
Saint Sarah's.
which I looked up Saint Sarah.
Cool. Was she a zombie?
No. Possibly the daughter of Jesus Christ and Mary Magdalene.
The Da Vinci Code.
Right. She is also the patron saint of laughter.
Okay. That's interesting.
Is it?
And that ending, which the cliffhanger ending where Daryl comes out and what does Michonne say?
Where's Carol?
And he says, "Come on out." And then it goes to black, and that's the end of the episode. So who's going to come on out? Carol? Beth? Morgan?
Did you watch previews for next week's?
No, I download them on iTunes, and they don't have that.
Okay. It's Beth in a hospital. It's all cleaned up, and she's like walking with an IV pole.
That was in the Comic-Con, like the San Diego Comic-Con Season 5 teaser. Like, I remember that.
Okay.
So, Rick did kill Gareth with the red-handled machete,
Yeah.
as he promised. At first, I didn't know, because he had the gun, but then they went to, like, a shot from, like, low behind Rick, and you saw the machete, and that's when you know, okay. Because at first, I didn't think they would kill Gareth that early in the season. Because I guess the Terminus people are not the main threats of the season.
I guess not.
What else you got?
Yeah, nothing.
Check my notebook. I wrote down Chekhov's gun principle. Do you know what that is?
No.
You don't have Rick say, "I'm going to kill you with my machete" in episode 1, unless you actually have him kill the guy in episode 3. But then again, what was the deal with eating Bob? So it makes me think that the eating Bob thing might still be... No, I don't know. They just messed up. Anyway, see you next week.